All right, we here below Chico City on the lower river. This is Captain Ty Wilkerson. He's in the hot seat there. And Ty is a real good friend. He's got good kids. I know them all. And he worked his way up from just little old tiny small ragged boats all the way up to the Miss KD. And he's one of the premier pilots out here. And he's me and Ty have a lot of laughs. I don't get to work with him much, but I have worked with him through the years a few times. But he's a really good guy, runs a good boat, clean boat, and fair to his men. But he's a good man. I'm gonna ask him a few questions. Ty, kind of turn around and look at me here now. Ty, we won't go into it, but Ty was wild. He's wild, and he's raised poor, and he's out in them cotton fields. Sure. And we done a lot of old stuff. And but now Ty come a long way. He's a good guy. Now Ty, what is the most fun you ever had on a towboat? Any of them? The one thing that you had, whether it was swimming, going to town, I mean, you know, we all done everything. What's the most fun you ever had on a towboat?
I don't even know.
You've had a lot of legs. Huh?
I have to think about
well, think about this first thing comes to your head.
No, one time we had both the generators burned up, and we didn't have any power, so we were tied off up at Dardanelle Lake. Well, I mean, it was a couple days, so we had to actually pull our mattress. We had a tank barge in tow, so we pulled our mattresses out. It was summertime, pulled them out, so we slept out there at night, so it wasn't too bad as far as. Well, all the meat was going to run, so all the meat thawed out. So we just cooked up every bit of meat we had: steaks, ribs, chickens, and
eating big.
We basically had a big barbecue for about 2 or 3 days before they actually got up to us and got everything repaired. But it was just kind of like a 2 or 3 day barbecue, you know. And all
big feed.
I was a kid, you know. I was a teenager, and
big feed.
I was 18. It was just. Coming from nothing, that was just a Esperanza bonanza, you know. That was just that was a good time.
Well, now
kind of a bad time.
We've all had bad times, but now Dardanelle Lake. My day, I had 2 things for Dardanelle Lake. One is a bad high water. You know how the Arkansas gets, and we was running daylight only, and it was terrible. And I had gone up to Catoosa to trip for a company, and the captain, he got mad because he wasn't going to leave. We had 1,000-foot barges, and I just strung them out. Back in them days, you didn't run strung out on them, but I wasn't going to come down that river. I told myself, and I flanked the whole Arkansas River, every bridge, everywhere. And so anyway, we got into Dardanelle Lake. Captain, he done quit, and the pilot, what he would do is he would make the coupling. I made a set over, and he'd make the locks after I done got it down in there, give me a break. So anyway, we was down at Dardanelle Lake, and just got tied off, and I told that pilot, I said, man, I would love to have some fried fish out of this deep water, that clean water in Dardanelle Lake. He said, you really want fish? I said, yeah, I want fish. He said, you really want fish? I said, yeah. He said, we can get fish. And so he had one of them electrocutors, and him and the deckhand, they got in the skiff, and they was out there electrocuting them fish. Boy, I mean, I'm telling you, them fish was coming up, and they were dancing on the water, and they scooped them up. And they got up all we could eat. But just about the time they got back to the boat and got it tied off, here come the Oklahoma game wardens. And I said, oh, Lord. I said, they would take this boat, the deck crew, everything. It would be horrible. So they run them fish down into the engine room. They ain't got a hook bite on them nowhere. Nowhere was there no hook bite. And so the game warden, he come alongside of us. Man, I was scared. And he said, wanted to know I got a new guy here. He never been on the boat, never been out here. He'd want to know if he could just look around, see what it was like. I said, oh, absolutely. I said, bring him on up here in this pilot house. I said, I'll show him all about it. And so I bought us a little time. And anyway, but everybody was scared, but they come on there and we give them a nice little tour of the boat, and they got off and they thanked us and they was all happy. And then when they left, we had the biggest fish fry. I'm talking about we had fish. We fried fish, we fried onions, we fried taters. Delicious. So it was just scrumptious. That deep water catfish, it was real good.
That's pretty water.
Oh, that's beautiful water. That's beautiful water. Now we're on, me and Ty, we're on the old PW, the old St. Louis shipboat, which is now the David Works, and we working for Patrick Smith Towing out of Vicksburg, Yazoo River Towing. This here is the big Yazoo, and the Jane train had this, and this was, and we leasing it from Jane train, trying to get the big J.O. going. But time of all the boats you ever rode, what was the best boat for the horsepower that you ever rode?
For the horsepower, probably that Dan Wise. That was a real good boat. I mean, naturally the strongest was the Jeff Stover, the Miss KD. I mean,
now
as far as one of the most comfortable is that big J.O. as far as just a good smooth ride and good living boat.
Good living boat, lives good.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
Wide.
Now the Dan Wise, was that a short St. Louis ship?
Yes,
That's one of them short St. Louis ships, wasn't it? Now this is old St. Louis ship we own. It's not on a different scale than Dan Wise.
But that was a really strong boat.
For the horsepower, they always say, I think that's just like the George King and those little St. Louis ship boats that Marquette had. Mm-hmm. They were strong for their horsepower and all. I'm not sure if that's right, but I think it is. But I know you done been out here in all high water, because I guess I've known you over 20 years, or at least 20, because about 20 years I've known you, because I met you over there at AEP. And then I was with Pine Bluff 10 years, and I was over there 9 years. So I've known Ty about 20 years. But we've seen some really high water. Now, what is the dumbest thing that you have ever seen a deckhand do? The number one dumbest thing that, if you can think of it, that a deckhand did.
I don't know. That'd be a long list. Sometimes, luckily we've always got through it. I always doing some kind of silly stuff. I wouldn't know where to start, Capt, to be honest with you. Oh man.
Well, what about skiffs? You ever had any skiff capades?
Oh my
Rather than escapades, you had skiff capades.
Always a skiff boat with no power. Something like that was always, just crew change is about the hardest part of it.
Yeah, getting on and getting off is horrible.
Once you get that done, it's all downhill from there, it seems like.
Yeah.
And especially on the Mississippi River where you don't have the boat ramps and you know, I mean, you just don't have that many places you can do it anymore.
Skiff changes can or cannot be real safe. Sometimes safe, sometimes not safe. A lot of time not safe.
I mean, but I think, you know, when Harold put the twin engines on those Mimco skiffs,
that's the best.
The best route to go. That alleviated a lot of problems.
Well, I've lost one of them, you know, at various times, but I've never lost both of them. And in my personal opinion, that I don't know of any other system that worked like the twin engine 20s. Isn't that what it was, 220s?
I think so.
I believe it was 220s, but that worked better than anything. And but boy, these skiffs, now
we left we were talking about dumb, and we left the plug in the skiff on that old Doug Fisher. It was right. Well, anyway, the old shorty, the port mate, come out, and somebody else, one of the safety guys. It was about 10 degrees, and they filled that skiff up, and it was froze solid.
Of ice. Shorty, I love old Shorty. He was wild.
Oh, Lord.
Had to be.
Oh, my goodness. They went to guys, well, ice floats. We're going to be all right. You know, it'll float. But that was pretty dumb. It was always something.
Well, it don't never end, really.
You got to laugh to keep them crying.
And I'd like to say or like to think that a lot of that is when you're dealing with deck crew, most of the time or a lot of time you're dealing with inexperience.
Oh.
You know, and so a lot of that just, you know, they just don't know, just never fool with skiffs. You know, we was up there at Grafton. I mean, it was pretty funny. We was at Grafton, and that river was running, and I had to back in. That was back in the 70s. And we had a radar man come, and we had to put the skiff in to get him on.
Nobody scared him dead, boy.
And it was so bad, Ty. It was so bad. That skiff, they like to never got it in the water because of current. A lot of current, big current. And we right there at that little landing at Grafton, big current, backed in, stopped. And so we finally got him to the bank, and then he got in.
I wish you had
And them boys, and of course they didn't have to go 20 feet, but they was trying to get back to the boat, and the engine quit. And now they're headed up under the tow. And they grabbed the face wires, and they shitted them face wires and got that boat back over alongside the big boat. And that man got off of that boat. And
was he talking bad?
He was talking all kind of stuff, and his eyes was big, and he looked, and so he climbed on the big boat. But what was the most funny is after he fixed whatever he fixed, he was going to have to get off and just go back around. He had to go back across. That man was scared. Man, I tell you talking about funny. Now that man, I promise you, he's still telling in the office, wherever he's at, about the skiff story and towboats and Grafton. Yeah. That man's eyes, his eyes, and the fear. You know, you can see fear. No, it was unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. Well, anyway, well, look, I cooked a little soup down there for lunch tonight, supper tonight, So anyway, I'm gonna shut us down here, not keep us too long. But anyway, Ty's a really good guy, and I don't know. Right now, he's captain on the big JO, and we trying to figure out whether Patrick might be interested in this thing right here. I don't know if he is or not. We'll see. But we're not doing real good right now. We broke down, and I don't know how all this is gonna turn out. But you know, if you can buy something cheap enough, it's worth it.
You're right.
So maybe he can get this thing cheap enough. Because, I mean, it's bad that we having a bad experience, but it might give him a little negotiating power. And so, anyway, y'all take care, and Ty, thank you very much.
I enjoyed it.